In yesterday's video, I made a case for why a teleprompter is mission critical for just about any kind of business video. Today, we'll look at a super affordable teleprompter and a usage tip that shocked my pro video crew. Hey, I'm Larry Becker. Thanks for coming by. So we were talking yesterday about why a teleprompter is so important, and while you could use it for complete scripts, you can also use it even if you really know your topic. You just use it for simple bullet points to keep you on track. So the cheapest prompter is going to be something like this little dry erase board. The problem here is that smaller boards only have so much space for notes, and a big board, people are going to be able to tell that you're reading, because as your eyes get further and further and further down away from the camera lens, it's going to be obvious that you're reading from notes on a really big board like that. So the next step beyond the dry erase board will cost you about 20 bucks for an app if you already have an iPad. This is what I use in my own productions and with clients, but let me tell you about what we used in that multi-million-dollar video studio I ran for years. Then we'll wrap up with the name of my favorite app and how I use it. Now, on most of our sets, we had a high-end pro prompter that was run by a trained prompter operator in the control room. It was fine and the kind of pro setup that you'd see in TV newsrooms, and occasionally one of my video teams would need to film in a studio that didn't have that prompter accessible. And so we used a prompter like this one. It holds an iPad, and it reflects a mirror image of the script, and that sits right in front of the camera lens like a normal prompter does, so that when you're looking at the script on that see-through mirror, you're looking right at the camera lens. One day I was in a bit of a hurry to crank out a video without bothering to set up that iPad mirror prompter attachment, so I said, let me just put my iPad on an easel just below the camera lens. And I'll even run the prompter myself with my Bluetooth keyboard. Now, my team was a bunch of really true high-end video experts, and they said, you'll be able to see that you're looking right below the camera. Besides, I talk with my hands all the time, and I wouldn't be able to run the prompter without looking like I'm doing something strange with my hands just off screen touching the keyboard. Well, they were actually surprised and impressed that both of these concerns turned out to be no problem at all. With the camera 6 feet or more away, the slight downward glance to read the prompter was imperceptible. They couldn't tell. And running the prompter was even more amazing to my team. You'll see in just a minute. Now, normally a teleprompter scrolls smooth and steady, and a good prompter operator will speed up and slow down the scrolling on the fly so that the person on camera, they're called talent, can smoothly go through the script. Sometimes when you're reading very precise technical terms like camera specifications, you slow down a lot. And then when you're reading conversational stuff, you might speed up and read through it really quickly. So a pro operator for that kind of prompter is a pretty talented person who has to focus just as intensely as the person that's reading on camera. They kind of have to read the script and read your mind and tell what your paces are going to be like. The iPad setup that I use could speed up and slow down on the fly, but that does require pressing specific keys on that Bluetooth keyboard during playback. So I just set up my teleprompter to scroll a bit faster than I could read at my fastest pace. Then all I have to do is press the spacebar, the biggest key on the keyboard, every once in a while, and that would stop and start. So anytime I'd start to catch up to the script, I'd just press the spacebar and start the scroll again. Anytime it started going too fast, I'd press the spacebar and get it to stop. But remember, I talk with my hands on screen like this, and they're on camera the whole time. So I just slipped off my shoes and I pressed the spacebar with my big toe to run it. I've been doing it in my home studio for years, and it's actually really easy. So let's talk about the teleprompter gear list. If you don't have an iPad yet, pick up a refurbished iPad Mini 2 from the online Apple Store. I saw one today for 229 bucks. The iPad Prompter app, that one's my favorite, is, and there are a bunch of these apps, is Teleprompt Plus 3. Teleprompt Plus 3 from a company called Bombing Brain. It's about 20 bucks. Next, you need a Bluetooth wireless keyboard for your iPad. Now, I've seen these for as little as 20 or 30 bucks. My favorite Bluetooth keyboards these days that work with iOS are Logitech keyboards, and they cost a few bucks more generally. This one is one of my favorites. It's my Logitech Keys to Go keyboard. It's around 43 bucks on Amazon these days. Finally, you'll need a way to put the iPad right below the camera lens. Now, earlier I mentioned putting it on an easel, and you can do that if you already have an easel. But don't buy a cheap easel, because those are about 25 bucks for a cheap one. And that's not the best solution. For just 30 bucks, you can get an iPad mount like this from Archon.com. And it's really secure. They're not paying me to say this. It's really secure, and it clamps onto your tripod, the vertical pole of your tripod with that little twist. And it's what I use all the time for myself and for my clients. And if you accidentally bump that easel, your iPad could hit the floor. If you accidentally bump your tripod, it stays clamped in that Archon mount. So that's the gear: an iPad, Teleprompt Plus 3, a Bluetooth keyboard, and a tablet mount. That's it. Is it cheap? Well, actually, yeah. Teleprompters are usually thousands of dollars, and they require an operator or an expensive foot pedal controller. But if you already have an iPad and a keyboard, this solution is just 20 bucks. And if you have a friend helping you out, they can just press the space bar for you and follow along. It works pretty well. But even if you don't have an iPad yet and you have to buy one and you have to buy a keyboard to make this happen, you'll still save, because you're going to save hours of wasted filming time when you screw up and do it wrong and have to go back and reshoot, or you forget to say something. You'll remember all the stuff that you want to say in each of your videos. It's worth every penny. So now what do you think about teleprompters? Leave me a comment below and tell me what you think. Do you have questions about simple in-house production, setups, gear, script writing, microphones? What do you want to know about? Be sure to subscribe, and when you have a free minute, swing by LarryBecker.tv. I do special consulting, as you can tell, to help people do well in their business videos. You'll find a bunch more resources over at LarryBecker.tv, even some classes there. We'll be back every weekday with another tip like this. Thanks for watching.